Well, hi, good morning. Welcome to my shop here on June 6th, the 75th anniversary of D-Day. A day we should not really celebrate. Not really. Okay, now, what's up with this radio? I'm trying to put it back together and get ready to do the alignment and neutralization process on it. So I thought I'd just flip on the camera here halfway through reassembling it and just show you what I've done before I cover it all. It's no big deal here at all. I've put this in with a solid screw with a nut on the bottom. It took me a long time to find a long enough, thin enough screw to go in here. And let's see, I bolted all these cans back in properly. And what was I just about to do when I flipped on the camera? Right, I was just going to solve this sticky volume control here. Let's see if we can get at that or not. So I've already taken the wooden knob off. And I suspect the binding is occurring right in the shaft here. Not inside the control, but right in the shaft. So we're going to hit that with just a little bit of WD-40 here. Where did I put my... What did I do with it? Here it is. Probably take a few turns to get it loosened up. It was hard enough that the knob here was starting to skid on the shaft. Like that. Now it's loosening right up. Loosening right up, but I wonder if I can get a little spray into the back here. A little more difficult. Really can't get at the shaft as such, so I think this is it. I think probably this oil will penetrate for a while. It feels like it's getting looser. It's certainly operable now. It's not resisting so much that eventually it's going to skid on the screw, which is the main thing. Good. And if you remember, there's two controls in the volume there. One for a resistor on the antenna, something you just wouldn't imagine was actually ever done, but it was done. And the other one is a killer somewhere in the IF string. There's no IF string, Jim. Somewhere in the RF string, a killer to suck out the volume. Okay. Now we're going to put the pan on top. You can see I've got all the tubes out because this is just a little high here. I stuck a little bit of tape in the back. And drop this on. And we're going to pop in the tubes and we're going to play this baby and get ready to do the neutralization process. So as you can see, I put on the top plate here to get all ready and then looked and saw only 1, 2, 3 holes, but I have to make quite a few adjustments. That turns out you do it with the top plate off. So off comes the top plate now. Okay, let's take a look at the instructions here for doing the neutralizing of the radio. So we've got a nice picture here. Shows the fellow turning the neutralization adjustment for this tube. There's 4 of these, one there, one there. They're all in exactly the same position relative to the tube involved because this radio is basically identical underneath, just kind of rotating in this semicircle. So you see hole here beside the tube, hole here beside the tube. There's a hole back here beside this tube. and there's a hole down in here. He says, quickly looking over, yes, there's a hole right in here. So those are the 4 neutralizing adjustments. Now to do this, I need to use a specially prepared tube that I need to put in the socket that I'm neutralizing. And the idea of this tube, special tube, is to stop the heater from heating. One way to do that is to cut off the heater pin. Goodbye to the tube. But another way is to cover one of the heater pins so it won't make contact when you pop the special tube in. So I picked one 26 tube here that measured 50. It measured almost nothing. It's dead. It's essentially dead. So that's the tube I'm going to use. I'm not going to cut the pin off. I'll cover it somehow, and we'll go through this process. Now, here we are. Tune in a powerful station. If you can't, use a modulated signal. Feed it via antenna to the set. Start with the first tuned RF stage. That's this tube here. This tube is an untuned antenna amplifier tube, so this one's not neutralized. There's nothing to neutralize there. Put it in a dummy tube, adjust the corresponding neutralizer to give minimum signal in the loudspeaker. When you're making this adjustment, you're trying to quiet the radio when you do this. And you have to be careful when you do it, so you don't get fooled. When you're all done, when you've done the 4 of them, you then return to number 5 and turn it approximately a quarter turn counterclockwise. Okay. If the instrument continues to oscillate, now this radio is not oscillating, hopefully it won't when I finish this, the condensers are out of alignment. The condensers being the tuning condensers, the 4 of them inside those cans. Look at this. This adjustment requires special attention. You can't be reckless with it like you were with the neutralization. And it's recommended that you consult your distributor before making any changes in the setting. And then they don't even explain how to do it. So send the radio to the shop, but you can neutralize it yourself. That sounds very odd to me because the neutralizing requires a special tube, and it's just stunning that they explain how to neutralize it, but they don't explain how to align it. Now there's going to be some other information I'm going to find somewhere, but let's do this neutralization thing. It's just everything rewritten again. Right, just explaining that you got to be very careful to make sure you've got the minimum signal coming through while you're doing this. Okay, let's try it out here. I got to prepare the tube first. Now, I've done this once before with a tube, but I can't find the tube. It's somewhere. I put it in one of those special places where I can't find it now. So I'm going to make another one. This one here. This is the one that measures 50 on the tube tester. The last time I put shrink sleeve on here, the shrink sleeve started out quite thin, but once it was shrunk, it was actually a little fat. And pushing this into the radio kind of pushed the prongs apart a little too much. So I'm just going to try tape. And normally, of course, you only have to interfere with one of these to stop the heater from getting its power. But I'm going to tape up 2 of them, I think. Tape up both of them. Of course, these are the fat pins on the tube. I think this will just go in a little better. And you know, this might only last 4 or 5 ins and outs in the radio, and then you have to do it again. 4 or 5 ins and outs. Hey, that's enough to get through it all. By taping 2 of them up, I'm just that much more likely to stop the heater current. Now, this tube doesn't work well anyway. The problem with it is almost certainly weak emission, so that wouldn't change its inter-electrode capacitance, which is what we're trying to deal with here. Okay. This morning I was watching D-Day. D-Day is a big thing in Canada. It's a big deal. I was watching the D-Day things that are going on over in France, and watching people standing on the beach exactly where my dad made his run for his life across that beach 75 years ago today. I think he was 20 years old. Okay, so I think we're set. Now we start with this. We start with the radio operating before. let's make this thing operate. Pop back in all the tubes. These tubes are not necessarily in the most optimized position, but we're going to go ahead. Now, as you move these tubes around, there's small variation in the inter-electrode capacitance inside the tube is going to mean that having this thing aligned or neutralized with different tubes in different positions, it may it's not the best way to go. You really want to do this with the final set of tubes, but close is good enough, I think, in this. We'll see how this goes. I have the radios in. I have the tubes in. Yeah, I guess you could pretty well call them radios. I have the little radios in. I have the particle accelerators in. I think we're all set to start this guy up. Okay, volume down. Oh, volume control turns quite nicely now. Beautiful. Excellent. Okay, and we need the antenna connected. We're probably going to end up working with a signal generator on this, but let's start with the antenna. Certainly can't say there's a rush of current into this radio when you first turn the power on. And judging that by the way these lights light up. Okay. Still has that strange tuning thing where I tune one way, it's so loud. I tune the other way, it's louder. Listen, I'll go across this way. Now go across the other way. Okay, maybe it's a little.
When you're watching that game last night, it's really one of those games where, from a rap perspective, if you win,
Distortion.
Everyone's going to say, well, Klay Thompson's not there and Kevin Durant's not there, and if you lose, they're going to say, well, there's an opportunity that you missed. So the Raptors went out, did what they needed to do, and they didn't get distracted by that, right? But one of the things that really,
Nice.
piqued my interest yesterday was when you're watching them up by 10, up by 7, up by 6, up by 12, up by 8, it's flipping around back and forth.
So we need a good steady signal in here to do this. I really think the signal generator is a far better approach than using a radio signal. Yes, the Raptors lost their second game. It's kind of a silly way to do this. Take that right off. Now it suggested putting a piece of wire on here rather than making a direct connection. I kind of like that idea. So we're going to stick a piece of wire on there. About 3 feet long, just like it said. Just going to use a clip lead. Go on the antenna side here. I just dropped it close to the signal generator clip lead. And if you look at the signal generator frequency, 590. And that's what we're tuned to, 590 sports channel from Toronto. Everything is adding up. See, I'm not too bad in antenna. So we want to get off this 590. Actually, it said do this at the higher end of the band. Let's go up there. It's getting louder and louder as we go. Holy smokes. Sorry about that. Hugely louder up here. Okay, we'll pick a quiet area. Turn it up. Not so quiet. Okay, we'll do it there. Wherever there it is. Oh, we're almost tuned right off the band here. 14. Okay, it said do this with a strong station. Okay, volume down a little bit here. Wow, volume, where'd it go? Okay, now, the way we do this is one tube by one. We put in the dummy tube. And we adjust. Oh my gosh, look at this. Let me get my hand with a screwdriver on. Well, let's carry on. First tube out. I don't want to be turning the power on and off, on and off, on and off all the way through this. Maybe I better for the first one. Power off. Tube out. Tube in. Let's see if I can get this in. Tube not happy about going in there. No, the tape's all bundling up here. It's not going to work. I got it in there. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure I got it in there. Okay, power on. Yeah, it was a good thing I turned the set off while I'm fiddling around like that. So we should get no heater action in this tube. There's no heater action in that tube. Now, assumably, this is adjusted correctly. This is the way we should start. This is probably adjusted correctly. So, I don't hear a thing right now. Let's turn the volume up. There it is. Okay, now we're going to try first with a metal screwdriver, but there could be problems here. Let me take a big ugly metal screwdriver. See what happens as we just my hand. Screwdriver. Okay. Adjusting. Ooh. What? Yeah. What's all that? So we're trying to adjust for minimum. Oh my, what's that? Huh. What's happening there? It seems like if I... Wow. So obviously, metal screwdriver appears to be having a big effect on it, so we're going to get rid of that. And I'm going to pick a heavy plastic screwdriver here. It's not strong enough. Okay, let's try this guy next. Mostly plastic. That seems good. Oh, boy. So it's short enough that my hand is getting close enough to cause all that nonsense. Kind of better and worse at the same time here. Well, let's just try another one. Let's try this one. What's happening? Okay, something crackling, but I don't know what it is. Let's try again with this. Don't get anywhere here. You know, I need a stronger screwdriver. So I'm trying not to listen to the noise, I'm trying to listen to the tone. Look at this is a metal piece inside a plastic insulator surrounded by a conductive surface. It's a big capacitor here. Well, maybe not a big one, but I thought that went away. It went away. Boy. That's the amplifier. Silent. Hey, where'd the clicking go? It's not that switch, is it? Yeah, as soon as I put my hand up there, the noise level comes up. I can't hear the signal generator. My signal generator is going full tilt. Let's see if we can pump more signal in somehow here. I don't know how. How would we do that? Put a little more wire on this. Any old piece of wire. Oh, no. That's a little crazy. That's more. That's good. Okay, down a little bit. Here we go. Can we neutralize that sound out of there? Got me. I'd say right there. Until I take my hand away. Oh my gosh. What have I got that's going to work for this? How about this ridiculous tool? Well, it's demanding a plastic tool. Oh, wait a minute. Let me stop and hunt down a better tool here. Okay, look at that handle, metal, plastic. This is the guy. Now, go away. Tone. Okay, here we go. There, minimum. Okay, next tube. Go a little quicker on the next one, I'm sure. This guy comes out. If he comes out, maybe he'll never come out again. We'll see what happens. This tape, he's coming out. Tape staying behind. Oh no. It all came out. Hopefully we didn't make a mess. No, all that battling is just through these top holes. It's not, I don't think it's battling in the actual. Wow, I am tempted to chop one of these pins off though. I'll tell you. I'd have to test the tube again before doing that. Okay. In for another round here. Power on. Now, how do I know for sure this tube made its connections? Wait a minute, we don't do that tube. Wait, whoa, back off here, back off, Jim, you're making a mistake. No, we don't do that tube. Put this guy back in. So that's the antenna tube. Keep your wits about you here, Jim. This is the tube we do next. Oh yeah, that's going to be quite a mess here. Okay, let me fix up my test tube. Okay, got it in there. Only one pin covered now. Power on. Good. Not lighting. Now, if we can't hear the signal, I'm going to have to jam it more into the antenna here. Let's turn it up. There it is. Okay, and the neutralizing we go. Okay. Ah. Okay, it's stuck. Might get away with a metal screwdriver now. Okay. Louder. Well, those chirps are the screwdriver touching something. Well, doesn't seem to make any difference. Yikes. Put it where it started. Didn't seem to make any difference. Let's go on to the next tube. I don't have enough experience to tell you. Well, is that within the range of what you should expect? Some of these you won't really notice any difference. Next one's this one. I think there's still a layer on there. We will know soon enough. Okay, nothing showing up here. No heater. Now I hear the tone quite clearly. Let's try this. No. It's too stiff. It's just too stiff for those tools. Screwdriver effect. Definitely getting quieter. Beautiful. Turn it up. Keep going. Ooh, now that is not a good idea. Not a good sign. Loosen it up a bit. Let's try this one again. Now the problem with doing any of these adjustments is as you're doing them you tend to push down. If you push down. So this is really tricky business to do this successfully without. Well, that sounds good. I like that. Next tube. Be this one. If I don't leave behind the tape. Well, It's a bit of a miracle if this doesn't make contact now, but let's try it. Just maybe it won't. This one back. Okay, start with a stiff screwdriver. Not going to work at all. Now let's loosen it up with this though. To be not having much effect. Let's see if I can turn it with this one. No. Try the little screwdriver here. Turning it a long ways. Hey, up the volume. Ooh, la wee. That's pretty good. I think that is neutralized. Now, what about the special adjustments, which I see there don't seem to be any adjustments accessible from above here to do the RF alignment. Volume down. Let's put the regular antenna back on here, the loop antenna. Just be sure the radio is still working. I'm sure it is. Just experimenting with a really cool FM antenna I picked up at a yard sale. I was getting ready to make a complicated video in which I was going to test the living daylights out of this FM antenna. The antenna I'm talking about is just sitting on the table there. That thing. That's way cool, eh? Look at that thing. So this is a fairly well known. These things, you can buy them on eBay for like 75 bucks or even more. You can pay more for it. Has 2 9-volt batteries in it. Although I looked at the circuit diagram, I can't figure out for the life of me what those batteries are doing. There don't seem to be any transistors inside here. There's no amplification, it looks like to me when I look at the circuit diagram. One thing the battery will definitely do is turn the battery light on when you push the battery test button. I think that's just about all they do. Really cool, a FM wing antenna SHF 101. Look at this pattern here they've got. It's really very cool. The last test I did was to compare this against a more standard or more simple antenna to see how well it compared. I'm going to see if I'm going to shoot the camera up here. I'm doing this on the my household basement stereo. Okay, so you're looking. Here we are. Well, this is my household basement stereo. It's a hard working stereo. It does a lot of stuff for us. Need to have a really good FM antenna. The antenna that beat that one I just showed you is this clip lead. Okay, so this white clip lead is a better antenna, significantly better antenna than that thing. So I don't know. So that's why you're not going to see a video. This is all you're going to see on that antenna is this little piece, because after I spent an hour testing the living daylights out of that FM antenna. But unless you can compare it against something else, you really can't get a feel for how well it's working. Yeah, you can watch the needle go up and down on your radio, but. And a lot of what you're trying to achieve is signal to noise ratio, not so much strong signal. Good signal to noise ratio. Anyway, let's carry carry on with this guy. He's turned on. Turn him up, and he's tuned way up here. Why is this radio so quiet now? Maybe not up far enough? Oh, because I still have the dead test tube in here. Yeah. Test tube as cold as can be. Put this guy back in. Now we'll get this radio going. Turn it down, turn it down. It is turned down. Yes, the thoughts are just rolling out of my head here. Turn it up a bit.
Off a lot of public workers.
Yeah, what's happened in our province is the government, kind of out of the blue, just announced that it's going to freeze government salaries, 1% increase for 3 years, kind of out of the blue. It's just, yeah, there's crazy stuff going on here in Canada too. This is in my province of Ontario, so. So the sensitivity of the radio has gone way up, I think. It's picking up stations left and right. Let's see if it gets the French one up here. Now I'm on the loop antenna, so I gotta let me retune the loop antenna here. Oh, that's kind of strange. Tuning it made no difference. We gotta have a signal. Bingo. Okay, let me turn this down. This was turned up quite high. Let me turn it down. Tune the antenna now. So I'm tuning it slowly through the signal. Well, it seems like when you tune it in one direction, you get a stronger signal, but it comes with some distortion. You tune the other way, or just tune around, you can kind of reduce the signal a little bit and get rid of the distortion. Then you can just up the volume on the radio. So it's not quite the best result, but in terms of sensitivity and this radio's ability to pick out the stations amongst the noise in my shop, this is a superior radio. A lot of the super heterodyne radios that I operate in my shop here are just overwhelmed by noise, which finds its way into those super heterodyne sets easily, whereas these guys are a little more resilient to ignoring all that noise. So in some ways it's a superior receiver. In many ways it's not, though, of course. Let's see if we can pick up, like picking up the French station here at this time of day is pretty darn good. Let's see if we can go. If I could pick up any other station higher then this will be one of the best radios for. Of course, my antenna's going out of tune there. Just need a hint of a station. Just fiddling with the antenna there in this quiet spot. A bit of a strange behavior. The antenna quiets the radio at a certain point. So couldn't pick anything up above the French station, but I would be really surprised if we did. Now my antenna's out of tune again. Very strange. What's happened here? Is this turn it down too low? Now I'm trying to find the French station. Such a difference tuning left to right. I lost him. Since when is a mortgage a 60-second issue? If I can't get that mortgage in 60 seconds, I'm not doing it. Okay, that's it. Enough fooling around here, because it's a fantastic day outside. So maybe I can't quite show you. Yeah, I can't quite show you there. My camera wire's not long enough. So I'm going outside from here to join my cats and start doing some yard work and gardening. So I think in terms of neutralization, we're A-OK. In terms of alignment, I'm not clear on how you even do it. So I'll look into that next. But you know, radio's receiving. How much better can it really get, realistically? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be in here tomorrow again, I think.